our great pleasure to have Sri Yogi Ji. He's Yogi first and then the Chief Minister. Well, in a state so large and with multiple issues and possibilities, how a very determined hand has been turning the state around for the last 5 years is something that we have closely watched. Generally, I'm not saying this as an insult, generally people in southern India believe, oh, UP cannot be fixed. I'm talking about you. But definitely the significant change that's happening in the state is phenomenal, and thanks to a very determined hand and all of you, of course, the youth participating in that process, otherwise it wouldn't be possible. Having said that, UP is one of the most significant agricultural regions, not just in India, but in the world. You have a possession of the largest segment of the Ganga Basin. Ganga Basin, for thousands of years, have been considered as one of the most potential agricultural regions on the planet. And it has spawned many civilizations and cultures. I was traveling in Eastern Europe, in Bulgaria and that region, they all claim they came from the Gangetic Plain. Long time ago. Today they're all Europeans, but they have maintained a few elements of this. So, in an abundant place like this, what is the problem? Well, the problem is just this, that from 1950s onwards, in the last 70 years, about 90% of the green cover or the tree cover is gone in the Ganga Basin, and we built Indian railways from it. We have enjoyed that, we have benefited from that, but it's time to put it back. In many ways, India's agriculture, what happened was, in 1940s and 30s, we had terrible famines in this country, especially in 1942. Nobody can forget that famine where it took 3.2 million people. So, to cross over this famine problem, we approached India's agriculture with emergency measures. We tried to build a bridge across famine situations, which was very important. Many of us are alive today because of that, those steps that were taken. But it was a bridge. If you get onto a bridge, somewhere you have to get off the bridge. If you stay on the bridge for too long, that means it's a bridge to nowhere. That is what has happened. Our Green Revolution was an effort to see that there were no famines in the country, which we managed to do that because since 1960s there's never been a famine in this country. There have been bad agricultural years, that's about it. But we have never had a famine. People have not starved because of lack of food. Such a thing has not happened, which is a great achievement, and we must remember when we got freedom or independence in 1947, the average life expectancy of an Indian was 28 years. Today, we are close to 74 years, which is a significant achievement for this nation. This achievement has been possible because of many aspects. There are many aspects like vaccination processes, medical care and everything, but the most important aspect is that we managed to produce food for 1 billion people. In that process, thanks to our farmers without much technology or infrastructure, just with intrinsic traditional knowledge, they managed to produce food for this nation, for such a large growing population. But at the same time, this pressure of population, when I say pressure of population, we have only 4% of the world's land, but 17.6% of the world's population. This is a tremendous pressure. Unless we manage our lands, particularly our soil, in a very smart way, future generations will suffer immensely. But this is not a reality only with our country. There is not a single nation in the entire world which has an average of minimum 3% organic content. This is the reality. The highest organic content in the world average is the Northern Europe, which is 1.48%. Southern Europe is 1.1%. United States is 1.25%. Africa is 0.3%. India's average is 0.68%, but nearly 60% of the land is below 0.5%. And much of that land, or large tracts of that land are also in Uttar Pradesh. It is I beseech the Chief Minister I've already spoken to the Prime Minister about this, and we have given this document, which is a handbook for making policy. The most important thing that needs to happen is, we need to separate soil from other ecological concerns that we have. We have fossil fuel emissions, we have carbon sequestration from the thing, air pollution, water pollution. There are many issues. All of them are significant issues. I am not trying to say they are not significant. But soil is of existential significance. It is an existential issue. Right now, for the first time in the history of humanity, the top scientists in the world are using the word extinction in relationship with soil. They're talking about soil extinction. Whenever we use the word extinction, we always thought of a dinosaur or a dodo or some animal that disappeared long time ago. But now we are talking about soil extinction. We must understand who we are is soil. Everything that you have seen as life around you, from the tiniest of worm to insect to bird to tree to animals to human beings, everything comes from the soil, which is just 15 to 18 inches. This 15 to 18 inches of topsoil is the cream of this planet. It is so invested in life that it is zillions of lives, millions of species. The top soil scientists in the world are openly admitting that they know less than 1% of the species present in the topsoil. When you know less than 1%, you should not mess with it. What has been shocking for me in the last 2.5 years as I met various agricultural ministries around the world is 85% of the agricultural ministries in the world refer to soil or treat soil still as an inert substance. They are not seeing it as a living platform. Soil is the largest living system, not only on this planet, in the known universe. This is the largest living system. There is nothing like soil anywhere in the whole universe. Even if you sow death, it sprouts life. This is the magic of soil. Here in this country, we call it our mother. We refer to soil as our mother because we intrinsically understood soil is the mother of our mothers. Everything has come from this, everything that we consider as life. Not only today in the form of food and survival, even in our evolution. Our evolution has happened only because of what is happening in these 15 to 18 inches of soil organisms. In the sense, somewhere approximately 1 billion years ago, a few organisms like algae and fungi started learning how to manufacture their food using the perpetual energy of the sun. This phenomena today we refer to as photosynthesis. Before photosynthesis as a phenomena manifested on this planet, the oxygen levels in the atmosphere were just around 1%. Today it is 21%. You and me are breathing because of this 21% oxygen level. It's not only about today's survival. Complex life on this planet became possible only because of 21% oxygen in the atmosphere. If that oxygen level goes down, we will not be able to survive, nor would have life evolved to the complexity that it has in the form of you and me. But in the last 1,000 years, we have removed 85% of photosynthesis on the planet. What is our plan? India should take a lead because forever we have called soil as mother. In India, Uttar Pradesh, which is the largest tract of land and the most agriculturally prolific land, must take the lead, and especially when you have a yogi let me, let me tell you what is a yogi. Not somebody who sits like this and does nothing. That is not a yogi. A yogi means one who is in union. Right now, are you breathing, all of you? Check and tell me, don't just scream. Because one day you will not be breathing. You are breathing. So, you are in yoga, you are in union with the atmosphere. Did you eat something today? So you are in union with the soil that you walk upon. So, you are already in yoga because your existence is yoga. This life cannot happen without being in union with everything. It is always like this. So everybody is a yogi, but unfortunately unconscious yogis. See, if you become unconscious, right now if you become totally unconscious, whether you are living or dead doesn't make much of a difference, isn't it? Hello? So if you are an unconscious yogi, that's what it means, your yoga is dead. If your yoga comes alive, that you become a conscious yogi, consciously you are one with everything, then you are a yogi. Alright? So, yoga does not mean twisting and turning, yoga does not mean doing some weird things, yoga means you know the oneness of existence around you. So naturally you're sensitive to life. With this sensitivity, if this leadership has this sensitivity, definitely transformation must happen, and I'm very confident it will happen, considering the economic situations, considering various other compulsions that government may have, social compulsions, economic compulsions, political compulsions, there are so many other things. In all this, my only fear is, it may not go at the speed at which we want it to go. This is why, Yogi is, everybody calls him firebrand. So, with this much fire, UP should go at the fastest pace in the country so that it becomes a lead for every other state. You cannot go at slow pace because you got Ganga, sir. You have Ganga serving you, so you cannot go at a slow pace, you must go much faster. I know there are many other challenges to be addressed as leadership. Considering all that, you must go at the best possible pace that situations allow you. I know your heart is in this. We want people to support this. This is why I'm trying to move 60% of the people, at least 60% of the adults should stand up and say this. All of you must understand, governments are not elected to do fantastic things. Governments are elected to fulfill people's mandate. Where is the mandate? Where have you given the mandate for long-term well-being of the state or this nation? You're always asking 2 rupees reduction in petrol price, 1% reduction in your income tax. You're getting those things. Unless you stand up and ask for long-term well-being of your state, long-term well-being of your children, the future of your children and the future of future generations, if you don't stand up and voice that, how can leadership invest in long-term well-being of the nation or the state? So this is what the Safe Soil movement is about, to get you up. It's not just your vote in a democratic nation, your voice is important. This is not an agitation, this is not a protest, this is not an expression of anger or resentment, because we clearly understand, every one of us, knowingly or unknowingly, are partners in this destruction. The only way around is, every one of us become partners in the solution. There is simply no other way. Now in this society, it is going on everywhere, drama all over the world. We have found 1,000 different ways as to how we can differentiate from each other. Nationality, race, religion, caste, creed, this, that, every damn thing possible. When there is so many differences and we are super empowered with technologies today, is it not very important that we find some common denominators which are common to all of us, and that is what soil is. We come from soil, we live off soil, when we die we go back to soil. The only question is, do you realize this now and make a difference, or will you realize this when you're buried? You will anyway get it then, but if you get it now, we can make a difference. We can be that generation which turned back from the brink of a disaster. I want to be that generation. You want to be that generation? This happened. Let me tell you a small story. This happened. This happened in 2016. A few scientists sought appointment with God. They got it and they went there. They told God, "You've done pretty well with creation, but it's time you retire, because everything that you can do, we can also do." So God asked, "So what is it that you can do?" They said, "Look here." They dug up some soil, made a vague image of a human child. They did all kinds of experiments and the child came alive within a few minutes. God said, "That's very impressive, but first get your own soil." So this is something that you must understand. There is no substitute for soil. There is simply no substitute for soil. Young people, I'm telling you, because as I travel around the world, these 27 nations and also before that United States, everybody is saying, "Sadhguru, my friend has made an app that will solve every problem." You think food is grown by Swiggy or something? An app may deliver food to your doorstep, it is fine, it's a service. But somebody has to cook it, somebody has to grow it, it has to come from the land. There is no substitute. Somebody wants to grow it on the wall, somebody wants to grow it in the air, somebody wants to grow it in water. Do whatever you want, it all comes from the soil. Clean water, pure air and nutritious food, everything comes from soil, and these are the ingredients, are fundamentals for a good life. We do not know the future generations whether they will choose to live well or not, but it's our business to see the fundamental foundations for good life are there for them, because the previous generations gave it to us. It's very important we pass on soil as a living soil, a vibrant living soil, a living mother, not a dead mother for future generations. Thank you very much.